I wanted to choose something different other than computer science. So that is where I started looking out for options, and I was fascinated to go with aeronautical, and then I've done my bachelor's in aeronautical. Somehow I was lucky to get into it.
Mm-hmm.
So when I finished it, I was not able to get jobs even back in India.
Mm-hmm.
So they need a lot more than a degree. I've been trying, but I've got placed in mechanical firms because I've had a strong mechanical base because we have common subjects.
Mm-hmm.
So from there, all it started. Pursuing higher degree was always there in my mind. I was even planning to do my PhD.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was looking into options, especially for US, what I thought was for a Indian background. So I'm from India. So for an Indian background, aeronautical is not a good choice to come and pursue here because you know about a lot of restrictions these guys have.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought since I have a base in working with mechanical, I applied for mechanical and I got the admit. After coming here, I was looking into options, and as I already told you, design was never my thing. I'm not really okay with it. I can work on it. I can design things. It's not I cannot, but I don't enjoy doing it.
Okay.
So I was looking into projects, and also I got this thermal projects which again interested me, and then I went into
In your master's program.
in my master's program. So I've done thermal management of electronics all the 2 years. I was into research labs and everything.
So
And then
what did you specifically do on that? Was it more simulation or you built some stuff?
so it was both simulation and experimental. I have worked on cooling of data centers and especially water cooling, which is about to come into boom.
Mm-hmm.
So I developed a control strategy because there is a lot of power usage in that sector, which I found. So I developed a control strategy and to reduce about 60%. So when it is going to come out, my thesis or my work is definitely going to add up to the liquid cooling stuff. But liquid cooling, as of now, it's not into the world currently. Only there are a couple of companies who are working on it.
Mm-hmm.
So
But it's mostly,
yeah,
mostly the subtopic was on thermal management
thermal
for
management,
electronics application.
correct.
Okay, got it.
So I've done that, and then after
So
graduating,
what did you do? Like you did a lot of CFD analysis or something like that?
yes, I've done a lot of CFD analysis. I've also built experimental setups, and then I had to validate my simulations if it was really true.
Mm-hmm.
So I've also done experimental stuff as well. Where am I facing the problem is one thing right now I'm really in a place where I'm not really sure if I have to go into some core mechanical or if I have to go into thermal or if I have to just go on to some data analysis side because I even have a little background of that. So I'm in that confusion state right now, and also I have not been getting many interviews as well.
Mm-hmm.
I've been trying to change my resume as possible, my LinkedIn profile as much as
Sure,
possible.
sure.
I have this premium account. Like
Mm-hmm.
from my side, I'm thinking that I'm putting all the effort, but I'm not even able to figure out where am I going wrong.
Right, right. No, no, I can
Yeah.
imagine. Okay, one couple of questions I have for you.
Mhm.
So when you said, remember you said I always want to do a PhD, but you completed your master's. So what happened to that part?
Okay, so right now, I've also mentioned this. I have a loan,
Yeah, yeah, I know
so
that.
I wanted to clear that first
Okay.
and then pursue PhD.
But
And also,
do you have that in your mind still now or you don't?
yes, I do have it in my mind.
So you are interested in doing PhD. Let's say if you given a scenario you don't have a loan, would you go for a PhD program?
Yes, definitely.
So and you enjoyed this the work you did on your masters. Really did.
Completely.
Okay. Did you do thesis also or without thesis?
Yes, I've done thesis.
You did thesis. And you published some papers?
Yes, I've published a couple of papers.
In journals or in proceedings or conference?
One in journal and one in conference.
And you went to some conferences too?
Yes.
Okay, understood. And okay, so but what really is driving you to do a job is because you have this loan and you really want to pay off that.
Yes, I have this financial responsibilities to take care of being the elder daughter,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I do not want to back off from them. And also, you know how pressurized the situation is for a girl when she is up to some age. So these are all there. I even cannot deny that from my parents because I understand them. I can go into their shoes. They're already 55s or like about to reach 60s. So I can go into their shoes. So I'm in a situation where I cannot deny them or where I cannot do my thing because of many constraints. So I'm like completely locked from everywhere is what I'm feeling.
So you feel like a sandwich.
Yes, really.
Yeah, yeah. No, I understand. Okay. So I will give you. So lot of things. To be honest with you, if this was not the time of COVID, I would have given you some other advices. But I will give you some honest advices. Probably and these are advices based on my experience and what I have been learning from students like you. You know what they are doing, because a lot of things are like I'm doing right, but what other people are doing in this, and nobody tells each other, right? So I can tell you those things, and I have guided probably more than 100 200 students who are in this situation, to be honest, and couple of from actually from your university too.
Okay.
Yeah, I have done. So okay, um, let me ask you, when did you graduate?
December 2019.
Okay. And so that means you should be started looking for jobs probably in October or September 2019, right?
I started.
Okay. Did you felt any difference from November or let's say September 2019 till end of January 2019 and beyond that? Did you find any differences in terms of looking for a job or how the response you were getting, or for you it was the same thing?
It was not same because I was partially looking for jobs because I had to defend my thesis, which is a big thing
No,
because
no, no, I'm
I
saying
was
in terms of
researching, I was
response, I'm saying.
experimenting.
Like,
Yeah, so I was partially looking for jobs, but when I was reaching people out in LinkedIn, people were enthusiastic to help. They were all good. But this COVID-19 is definitely a bad thing which has happened, which shouldn't be happening, but we cannot
no, but
do anything right now.
my question was different. My question was
Hmm.
when you were looking, so you graduated in December, so people started looking for jobs 2 3 months before that, right? It's very
Hmm.
common. So when you were looking for jobs, what were the level of response that you were getting from the recruiters versus after January 2019? Did you find any difference, or you said more or less it was the same for me?
Yeah, like that, it was almost the same.
The
Yeah,
same, okay.
it's pretty much. Hmm.
Okay. And let me ask you, if I have to ask you, Amrita, here is the job for you. What would be the one of few best companies that you would like to work for? And yeah, and what would be the job title?
I would work as a thermal engineer for any of the companies which are doing liquid cooling right now, which is IBM has been in liquid cooling for ages now. So I would work for IBM or Google, which is developing new technologies on liquid cooling, and I would work for Intel. These
Okay.
are the big three companies I've been targeting.
Okay, got it. So one news that I can tell you for sure, and this is because I know that for sure. So I had a couple of friends who are managers in Intel, and I know few of my juniors from NC State actually that are going to Intel right now. The news is Intel has freezed the hiring. Actually, I
Hmm.
have a cousin sister actually, who works there, and she graduated from Rutgers last year, 2019 August, and she actually was telling me that Intel has freezed the hiring. So just to let you know what is the situation even with big companies. But
Mm-hmm.
I think what the places where you were looking for jobs was the right places, to be honest. Even if Amazon has a data center or something, that would be right thing to do. Okay, I understand. Okay, so let me answer your first question, the last question that you have, right? How about positive trying to be jobless is draining my energy and being frustrated and all that. So I think a lot of this eventually comes from, we have a habit also, and everybody does that. It's not just you that, when we start applying for jobs, the more we don't get a positive response, the less disheartened would be, and then it becomes like just applying for it, right?
Right.
So, so my advice to you would be, if you have already applied for 300 jobs, applying for another 300 jobs in the same way won't help you.
Correct.
Okay, so number one thing that you want to do is, first thing is, if you feel, let's say if there is a job which is very arbitrary, a mechanical design engineer, right? Your profile, what CV you have, won't help you to get that job for sure. So again, I'm trying to tell you is what would help you to find a job if you are so desperate, and that's fine, completely fine. So the
Mm-hmm.
CV you have won't help you at all, to be honest.
Yep.
So if you're
Yep.
sending the CV for a design job even, and you think that job is not the job I want to do, but the CV won't help you. So you have to have a different CV. And usually it's not very uncommon for a student to have 4 or 5 CVs, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
It's very I mean, I have even at this point, I have 2 or 3 CVs, to be honest,
Okay.
right? So it's not very uncommon. That's number one. So if you want to apply for a design job, then I would advise you to Google it and look for a design engineer. And if, let's see if you can find a good CV that you can mirror
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and say this is going to be the CV. And I'm not saying delete your CV, keep that as a CV that you're going to use for design engineering position. And I can tell you a little bit how the job thing works also. That's number one. Number two, if you're applying for a job for a thermal engineer in Intel or something, I think what the CV you have is perfect. I There is no doubt in my mind that the CV is bad CV. But
Mm-hmm.
then I don't see, for example, you said, right, um, I have, so in that case, what you need to do, I think you need to work on it. So your formatting and everything for this CV is fine. For a master student, this is fine. But, many students have this thing that, oh, my CV is just a 1 page or 2 page. It doesn't matter, to be honest with you. What I want to
Okay.
see is, so for example, let me give you an example.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just, talking about your CV, how you can make it better. So
Yes.
if you look at achievements and you have put your journal publication in achievements, journal publication has to have separate. So you have to have a separate title called publications
Okay.
and put it there. So you have
Okay.
so what I'm saying is make as much as categories as you can. So for example, you can say your CV, whatever you address, or your objective, and then you can say education, and then you have awards, then you can have your professional experience, which is any internship you have done, anything, uh, research experience. So think of the titles, right? Research experience, and that in case you can write the title of your thesis and maybe 2 or 3 bullet points about, um, you know, uh, um, what I have to say, or like for example, things you have done in that, or achievements, or anything that you can title, put for three,
Mm-hmm.
or what work you have done, and then you can
Yes.
say software skills, and then you can say lab skills, and then you can say your journal publications, then you can say your presentation or workshops you
Mm-hmm.
attended, and then you can say your references and so forth. And it can go to 2 or 3 pages. That's fine. It makes more clear. And as I said, so the reason why I asked you that what job you are looking for and what profile fits better. If you're applying for a thermal job as a thermal engineer,
Yes.
I have to really go into your CV and figure that out actually right now. That what you are
Oh,
saying. I mean, you are telling me, right? Then I can now I know. But when I saw your CV, to be honest with you, I was little bit confused. Like, what's your area is?
okay.
It didn't came out right away to me. So
Okay.
the very good way to do that is when you say objective, say looking for a thermal engineer position, be specific for that position,
Yes.
because what happens is when that CV goes to a recruiter or something, all they are looking for, to be honest with you, they don't have much time to look at a lot of CVs, right? And let's say if
Mm-hmm.
there is a position out there open for thermal engineer in Intel or Google or Amazon or whatever for data center, they're looking for those keywords. So as I said, these are going to increase your chances of success,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, I see
So
what you're
this is
saying.
just a brief idea option. But as I said, another thing, don't overwhelm yourself in applying for jobs, because what happens is this is very natural among natural with anyone, is when you're gonna apply for 300 or 200 or 500 jobs and you're not hearing, you're gonna get little bit disheartened that I'm working so hard and I'm doing it. And to be honest with you, since everybody's sitting at home, everybody is doing the same thing,
Yes.
right? So I'm saying you can be little selective. You
Okay.
can be little selective. You can be. I mean, looking at situation right now, the hiring is freeze anyway. I mean,
Correct.
just if you look at this, that's the reason I asked you, right? What was your response? So I'm a little bit confused also that why you were facing this problem even before your graduation, why you were not having, um, why you were having issues on getting job, because 20 December 2019 and above, things were perfectly fine. So if you are having a difficulty before that,
Mm-hmm.
then you can assume that at this point of time, what would be the situation. So be a little bit realistic also, I would say. Um,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so the question would be what you can do um, right now. So again, I know you have some personal commitments, or you have personal your personal life
That's.
also is
Uh-huh.
there, that is coming, and gonna, but to be honest with you, lot of students, and this can happen very easily, that most of them who are masters, and my advice for most of them was go back to school. So
Okay.
that's the reason I ask you, do you really have this desire to do a PhD? But you gave a very straightforward answer that I always want to do a PhD. I would say if that is the case, I think this is the time where you would want to do that. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to be easy, to be honest with you. I'm not saying that these are not going to pose challenges. Actually, one of the student in your college that I talked to him about a month back or something. I forgot his name now. He's in
Mm-hmm.
material science or mechanical. I gave him the same advice, and he emailed me after that. That second day, he went to his advisor and spoke to him as enrolling in PhD program.
Okay.
So I don't think, to be honest with you. So right now, I have spoken with the students who are not getting jobs. I have spoken to students who are in OPT and lost their jobs. I have spoken to professionals who have H1 and lost their jobs. And I think the most safe are those students who are still in school,
Okay.
because they still have a chance to go back and do something. Again, I'm not saying that you have, if you feel like, the only reason I'm saying you would like want to go for a PhD program is because you don't have to pay from your pocket most of the time. PhDs are
Correct.
usually funded, so you don't have to worry about where I'm going to pay tuition and all that. So if that is something that is possible. Go ahead and do that because you don't have to worry. And second thing, what it also does is, if you, let's say if you have a loan or something, and if you are being little careful, to be honest with you, I have friends who have done that they saved some money and kept sending some portion of it, and paid their loan in the meantime. So that is also a possibility. It's not that that's not the case. So what it does, it you are able to kept paying a small amount of loan at the same time you are working on your degree.
Correct.
And for, if you ask me that you have this desire always, I think this is the right time to fulfill that desire. This is the best time to fulfill that desire. And why I am saying so? And again, I have friends also who are professor in universities, right? And now some of them has contacted me saying that, can you tell us a good student, because we are not able to hire a student from outside. So it's the demand supply situation is there too, because a lot of professors are there right now who are saying we can't hire students from China, from India, and those are the like maximum number of students that come, right? So
Correct.
who's gonna work? So best for them is the students who are already here. So the situation has become a little bit good also. And to be honest with you, I feel this. If I was you, I will see this as an opportunity rather than saying, "Oh, I'm so in a bad situation right now." Because this will does is, let's say, and this happens to many students. They say, I always want to do my education from one of the best universities, but I never got a chance. I think this is the chance, to be honest with you, because it's a demand supply situation. And in that case, what happens sometimes, if everything goes fine, you may be able to find admission in a good university, and here you go. You can have a PhD from a really good university, and down the line, the road. And if you see, here's the thing. I mean, back in my days, the stipend was very low, but right now, what I understand, the stipend you can get is somewhere around $2,000, and in some cases, is higher than that. If you look at how much money you have to spend or something, I think you can have a second-hand car, and you can have a good saving. It is
Okay.
possible. So what I'm saying is that will allow you to move forward with your life. Otherwise, what will happen is, if this lasts for another 2 3 months, you anybody can go to depression very easily. What I'm saying is, keep moving.
Okay.
And again, this doesn't stop you to apply for jobs at the same time. I'm not saying that. But don't get stuck to a point where you're saying, I'm doing the same thing, it's not going. I would like to know, what is your plan B? So are you working on plan B also? Because as I said, if you are able to find a job, actually I'm not sure that 3 months after you find a job, the guy is not gonna fire you, because the situation is so bad.
Yes.
And this has happened to, trust me, this has happened to many students, that they are able to find a job, and they are saying they have been told that you can't join. There are situations where they have been working. So somebody got a job in August 2019, and now they are laid off. So what I'm trying to tell you is, if you are still in school, if you are still in this institution, it's way easier for you to do things which many people can't do now.
Okay.
And if you
Yeah.
have taken OPT, let's say if you are an OPT, that's okay. But if you are not, it's even better for many people in many ways, because then you have an option to say, maybe I want to do another master's in or want to do another MBA or whatever. And the reason why I say so, because all I'm trying to tell you is, for this situation to pass, you need to buy the time. And I am not the economic expert, but everybody is saying you need another year or two. And let me give you my example. When I graduated in 2009 from my PhD, the housing market crashed in 2007, 8 or something. And
Yes.
2009, I graduated, there were no jobs even then. Even then. So even after a year, this housing market situation was not that bad. There were no jobs. And for us, the situation was the same. It's like, we are an international student, we can't find a job. What we should do now? So we look for an
Correct.
alternative, how to move around. And it took time for us. It took almost 10 years to be in this situation now. And still we have to worry about our job, because, like you, we are in the same situation. In that sense, is, if you work for a company and if they don't make a profit, you're out, right?
Correct.
So all I'm saying, and I follow the same rule, that what is my plan B? And so for your case, I would say work on your CV. Make sure you have 2 or 3 or 4 CVs that are targeted. So one thing, always make sure. Let's say if there is a position of for thermal engineer or the position for design engineer, do the questions they have, the basic qualification or the required qualification, does your CV answers those questions, or they are generalized? Like the recruiter has to really look in your CV, like where. If they don't answer in your, if the CV doesn't answer those questions, the chances for you to get a job or you to listen, hear from them would be very low. And again, I'm not even counting that you need a visa. That's a totally separate story, right?
Yes.
And the
Yes.
reason why I say so about this, PhD thing, because if you are fixated about the idea that I want to live in US, to be honest with you, in long terms, having a PhD would qualify you to stay here like having a master's. Like I have friends who have done their master's and they work in California now, and they are thinking that they probably have to go back now because it's not working from them now because they already been here for 10, 15 years, and and they can't have a green card or whatever for that reason, and they're not able to move in their life. They can't buy houses. They always have to be an uncertainty and things like that. So
Yes.
all I'm saying is, at this age, you can do many things. You can circumvent with your situation, but down the road after 15 years, it will be extremely difficult. So make the right decision right now rather than regretting later. You will feel right now that those decisions are the tough decisions, but they would be right decisions.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I, I,
I
I,
hear you.
I don't say that you are in a bad situation, but only thing I would say that stay strong, take one day at a time, make targeted decisions. Make sure you have plan A, plan B, plan C. Let's say plan A would be like, I'm going to apply for jobs, I'm going to improve my CVs, I will have those 3 4 I'm going to apply. Okay. Plan B would be, let me see what is out there and what are the institutions or good places where I can find a CV, a PhD position, or even
PhD.
in my college, let's say, right? That would be, and so you can able to join from August, and here you go. And numbers, plan C would be, let's say worst come to worst, I have to go back to India. What I'm going to do? Because the problem is when you react on something. The problem is not when you are already prepared. Because if you are prepared, you will be fine. Trust me. If you are, let's say, if you are prepared in your mind that I will go, this can happen, and I will go back to India, and I know what my plan is. The problem is tomorrow I have to go to India, and I don't know what I'm going to do. I
Correct.
don't want you to be in that situation where you would be in that scenario, because
Sure.
that would be a really really bad situation. So so make up your mind, and then somewhere in that scenario you can say, okay, if this happens, that's how I'm going to proceed with my personal life. If this happens, this is what I am planning, and if this happens, this is what my plan is. There's nothing wrong. You can always plan out that within that, but don't be into the situation where you have no idea what I'm going to do next, or you have some sort of a you are in some sort of a delusion where you say one day this will happen, because things doesn't work like that. The more you
Right.
are prepared, the better your chances are. So preparation would be the key for the success for any student. And as I said, the example I gave you, one of the student that I spoke to in your university, he's fine now, right?
Okay.
Because he did what was right thing to do. Before that, he was panicking just like you, but now he's prepared. He know what to do. And to be honest with you, 3 4 years down the road, once he graduate, he will be, trust me, he will be in much better situation. And
I